Yeah, we got a hot out. I have one. Let's go.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to episode 257 of the Super Weapon Podcast, most overpowered podcast on the internet. It's your boy, Darius the Artist, and as always, I got my co-host DC here with me today.
What up, though? It's your boy DC, aka the Neapolitan Hobgoblin, and I'm here to give you some Xbox Direct news.
Yes, indeed, man. We got our first official showcase. Welcome into our audio listeners and our live viewers. If you guys have not seen the Xbox showcase or have no idea what we're talking about, Microsoft has in the last couple of years started the year off with a traditional showcase. Usually it's 4 to 5 games, just kind of lining up their first half of the year and kind of teasing some things that may or may not show up later this year, which is pretty cool. I'm glad that they're doing these showcases, man. I do enjoy them myself. I appreciate that we get these early in the year and we don't have to wait until summer or later in the fall for some of the other international showcases. We can kind of see what's coming up, especially in Xbox's portfolio. We've been kind of dogging them out a little bit, especially with some of the decisions that they've made over the last few years. But this is always a bright spot for me. I always appreciate these, and I'm actually kind of excited to talk about some of the stuff today because they showed some very interesting games, and I figured the first one we should jump off with is Forza.
Ooh, look at that thing. Ooh, it's exciting.
I kind of want to, I guess you can call this like the Playground Direct because they had 2 games. We'll talk about the other one later. But I figured it'd be good to start off with Forza because, me and you are pretty big fans of the franchise. I don't think it's a stretch to call Forza the premier racing game nowadays. It's, in my opinion, it's overtaking Gran Turismo a long time ago, and it's just kind of always been the one that everyone's kind of gravitated towards too. I know it's not the super sim. I mean, you can change some of the settings obviously to make it more simulation, but I love the vibe of Forza Horizon, and they've just been doing a great job with the series. So
it's whatever you want to play. Like, you can make it with the adjustment of a few like twerks and adjustments in the options. You can get it to a simulation style racer.
Yeah.
But what kind of make it fun and kind of a game for everybody to jump into is the fact that you can make it real arcadey too. It's whatever you prefer. And then for people who really, really want that racing sim, there's the regular Forza.
Right.
So, and the old Forza is still good money. That's the crazy thing. Like, if they did a car pack and just maybe added some new cars, like, it's still good to go. But me personally, I said before that Forza is like not the game that's gonna move any needles or anything when it comes to like taking Xbox and Microsoft or whatever to the next level. But it is a game that a lot of people look forward to, believe it or not. Like, people say, "Oh, it's Forza, oh, blah blah blah." There is
Forza has a huge community, man.
There is a big, especially if you play online. Like, a lot of people don't know, like, online, like, people take this game very serious. So when it dropped, I was already excited about the location because it's just a beautiful place. Like, some of the locations in Japan are just like, it's really, really beautiful. And the fact that they're going to adopt, like, and it's only fair, it's only right that they do this. Like, they said they're going to adopt like Japan's car culture into the game.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which I think they would. And let me tell you something. If you love cars, if you're a car fanatic, if you don't look up Japan's car scene, you're doing yourself a grave injustice. Just go to YouTube. There's plenty of documentaries and stuff that follows their culture when it comes to cars. And it's very interesting. Like, they have their own culture and then they kind of branch out to American culture as well. So you'll see like a donk or something over there. Like, they think the cars are like so weird but cool, but they'll have them imported over there.
Yeah.
So you'll see like modern American cars over there. And to them, like, to have that car is like, a crown jewel to them because you don't see them often over there.
Yeah, they're not
And
they're not
then
easily obtainable. Yeah, for sure.
yeah, and let's just say that like Midnight Club and like they have underground like car scenes that it's insane. You can look all this up on YouTube, by the way. Like it's very insane. And I want to see when they say they're going to ingrain the culture, I want to see where that goes into this installment of Horizon. Like I'm looking at the game and I'm trying to talk.
Yeah.
I can't do two things at once, but I'm looking at the game and I'm like, man, this looks amazing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm excited to
It's
say the least.
it's definitely, Japan has been one of those locales that has been highly requested by the community for a number of years now, and it's cool to see them finally take the leap and get to Japan. And just like Weenie in chat mentioned, the game itself is beautiful. And I mean, the 1080p video that I have planned for us right now doesn't really do it justice. I highly recommend you guys go find the 4K footage of this. And I mean, I always say Forza games look incredibly beautiful, but this one just kind of seems like it took it just a notch further, especially with the environments and how
I
they
think
are
that's what
really
it
trying
is.
to honor and represent Japanese culture, just like Lego mentioned. And the just like the cars and stuff, because I believe that they said there's going to be 550 cars, and they're looking to balance the variety out a little bit better this time around. I'm not sure if that was a point of contention with the community or not, but that's a huge number of cars to have, and for them all, they're probably going
And
to
they're gonna
feel
add.
different. And just I agree with you. I'm super excited for this. This is probably something I'll play for a few weeks, or not for a super long time. Like, but I do
It's there
appreciate.
when
Yeah,
I need my fix.
yeah, I
When I
do.
need
I
that
do
race fix, it's
appreciate
there.
the community that does the cool car decals and everything, and just how the community likes to represent themselves is really cool. And where it seems like we're actually getting our first foray into like actual drifting. Like, you can drift into other games, but they put a little bit of emphasis on it in the gameplay preview, which I really like, because like DC mentioned, like drifting is a big part of Japanese culture, especially with some of those tight winding roads down mountains and everything. It just looks like, I mean, if you guys are a fan of Tokyo Drift, like, you're probably gonna get everything you want out of this. And one thing I was thinking about too when I was watching this is, because they, in the past, Forza's done a really great job of like crossovers and everything. I can't wait to see
It's a
what.
given.
Yeah, I can't wait to see
You know where
what
they're
kind of
going.
crossovers they're gonna do. They even kind of hinted at one towards the end of this gameplay trailer, but I would love to see some anime crossovers, just like them just kind of go full gamut. Like, one of my favorite ones that they did was the Hot Wheels DLC. I believe it was Forza 5, or it might have been 4. I can't remember, but
They,
um,
if I'm not mistaken, I think they brought it back. You might be right. It might have been 4 and 5.
yeah,
I remember seeing it, and it was that mixture that we talk about, right? Like
yeah,
you can have fun, and then it just depends on where you want to take it. Like, because they like a big thing that I'm noticing in this game that's crossed over from GTA 5 online is a lot of people are having like these just impromptu like car shows and
yeah,
car meets. And it would be ashamed if this game didn't kind of benefit off of that. I don't necessarily want a hub per se, but like if there was a place where you can meet and kind of show off your cars and meet people and then like race, that would be super cool to have. But
yeah.
if they don't have it, people are going to do it anyway. I'm telling you right now. Like people,
Well,
the
I
car
mean,
culture in video games is like people don't understand like how big it is really because it's
yeah,
not talked about a lot, but it's there.
yeah. I mean, they kind of have that always online feature too, where you can just open your lobby and you'll have people driving around in the same world as you, which is pretty cool. They talked about it in the preview. There was one where you can kind of do like impromptu races with just people on the road, which I think is always nice.
Yeah, you just
And
roll up to them.
yeah, and I like that they're expanding on the garage home base features of the game. That's kind of what we're seeing here right now in the video, where you have this gigantic piece of open land and you can build a facility. You know, you can customize it how you want, which I'm really curious about how this part of the system works. You know, and then you can end up inviting your friends over and stuff. Like they say, you can customize like all the garages, you know, to your liking and stuff, which is pretty cool. So, you know, that's kind of like an expanded feature. I've always kind of wanted that part of it in the game,
Mm-hmm.
especially, you know, with the quote unquote story in the game being the Horizon Festival, going to all these different events all over the world. And, you know, it's kind of different this time. You're not directly a part of the Horizon Festival in the beginning. You kind of have to work your way into it, which I think is cool. You know, it's like a different little spin, and you know, you kind of work your way up the ranks to compete in some of the, you know, higher tier races and stuff, which is pretty cool. So,
Oh, and I wonder what the Horizon events are going to be because it's always,
hmm,
if you keep up with this game, it's always something extreme,
yeah, they always
like
do
that
something
one where
cool.
you had
Yeah,
to fly up in a cargo plane,
yeah,
like you're
or
on
you're racing the blimp or the plane,
the
excuse me.
train.
Yeah,
You
the
got to beat the
train.
train.
Like they
And
do a
so
lot
I
of cool
wonder,
stuff.
oh,
So,
look at that. Oh my God. I'm so into this video. And I already saw this video and I'm still looking at it like it's my first time. Like I'm a car fanatic. So this is gonna probably last me a while. If this is executed right, which I have no doubt it will be, like these games never let me down. So and it's weird because you kind of play them like with me, I'll be like deep into the game, maybe like 2, 3 weeks. I'm heavy off into it, then I'll fall off. But
yeah,
every time I get that racing itch, I'll go back to play it. And
right.
so it usually lasts all year. Like it never goes away. Like I could fire that up right now and start playing the old one. But because it's always like a car to get or something to adjust, or you want to try this setup on your car. And I want them I want to see how your car setups are too. Like how detailed can you get into it when it comes to like tuning
Yeah,
and customizations? Because that's all people, man, you put customizations and stuff into a game, people are going to be drawn to it because people like to have their own individualities, right? Like everybody wants something, and they kind of do that, right? With the thing where the paint creator, the what do you call it? The decals.
yeah, yeah,
Like a lot of people come up with very creative decals and stuff. So it's definitely gonna be, well, I mean, I have Game Pass, so it's definitely gonna be a day one for me straight
yeah.
out the gate.
And
Cause
it comes out for those of you curious, it comes out May 19th, 2026 for Xbox first, Xbox PC, and then there's PS5 release later this year. And I think just like the previous Forza games that they've released on PlayStation, this is gonna sell really well. And that's, in my opinion, that's probably how you're gonna start to see an expansion on the community. You know, because I feel
mhm.
like PlayStation fans are pretty starved for a great racing game. You know, I think Gran Turismo did pretty well, but they come out so infrequently, and it takes such a long time for those games. You know, to I mean, you're talking like 5 to 7 years on average, but you know, Forza Horizon
7
hits like every
um,
two ish years at this point right now, which could change in the future depending on how well the other game that they announced today works out. But you
hold
know,
on, hold on, hold on, hold on. I didn't see that part before. Was that a Gundam?
yeah, that's what I was talking about earlier, like a crossover. Like you'll probably be
Oh,
racing a Gundam, which is just fucking insane.
that's crazy.
So yeah, I'm excited
Oh,
for this, man.
that's right up your alley,
Yeah,
Mr. Gundam man. So I know you gonna be there.
yeah,
Yeah, man. I
I'm
got
probably
all
just gonna buy
positives
this
for this,
honestly.
man.
Yeah,
I
I'm.
got all positives for this, bro. And man, like, if you guys get it, like we get online, get some sessions going, man. I'm actually pretty excited for this game. This is probably the first game in 2026 that I know for sure I'm gonna be playing.
Yeah,
I'm
hundred
gonna be
percent.
there. And hopefully I have a steering wheel too. I might, because I can't beat the lap times with a controller. Like it's just so hard when you get into the faster cars
Yeah,
and you got to hit those corners like just right, and you got to hit them with the right amount of speed, and you got to come out of the top of the turn with the gas, and it's really hard for me to, especially PlayStation. PlayStation, look here, this is not a PlayStation Bassin session, but I don't feel like their controllers are good for racing games. I don't think they
sure.
are. It feels weird. Is it because the analogs are not stacked? Like they're
Or
not.
staggered. Yeah, it could be.
Yeah,
I don't. I can't tell you the last time I played a racing game with a
and it's
PlayStation controller, but
and
yeah,
also because of the feedback the controller gives you. Because the more you pull on the trigger, the lighter you pull. That's your car's acceleration, and it feels like because the controller wants you to feel the car, so it gives it that tension, and it's kind of hard to get like the speeds that you need when you hit in the corner. It's weird.
Yeah,
I it's hard to explain, but yeah, it's weird. And I love PlayStation controllers, but I don't think it's good for racing games. That's just me personally.
yeah. So, yep, this comes out May 19th. Summertime, like I said, for Xbox and PC. I'm gonna assume this is gonna come out around the same time as Fable. I imagine they're gonna want to get in front of the fall/holiday rush, but I think this game's gonna sell amazing when it comes out on PlayStation, just like the last couple of Horizon games have. So yeah, definitely gonna pick this up. I'm probably just gonna straight up purchase this since I'm not a Xbox Game Pass subscriber anymore. It's too expensive. Um, but yeah, I'm excited for this, man. I'm right there with you. So let's talk about the next game that
Ooh,
that they
spicy.
revealed. I figured it would just be good to just go ahead and get Fable out of the way. I'm super fucking excited for this. Was
He's pumped.
cautiously optimistic about the Fable remake, or not remake, reboot, excuse me. But seeing what we saw during this developer direct, I'm fully all in on this, man. I believe in Playground Games at this point. I could tell that they have the passion for this, and this looks
Excuse
like
me.
it could be an all timer, man. Like this could be competing for Game of the Year. Minus GTA 6. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, everybody knows
We don't
everybody's
even
gonna vote
count
for this.
GTA 6 no more.
Yeah,
Whatever.
but
But
as somebody
yeah,
who's played the three original Fable games, it's good to see that Xbox is reviving this series, and this one's been in development for quite a long time.
it
Um,
looks beautiful.
yeah, it does. I think we got our first announcement, like official announcement. I think it was 2018 or 2019 when we first got it, and we're finally starting to see gameplay, which is awesome. So the first thing I wanted to talk about was like the environments itself, because like I said, as you guys know, Playground Games is they're they were, excuse me, a racing game studio, and it's not typical you'll see studios step outside of their what they're known for and completely just turn and do a different 180 for another game. But I think Microsoft,
To be respected.
yeah, you know what
It's
I
tough.
mean. And I think
Mhm.
that Microsoft did a great job choosing them to continue the legacy of Lionhead Studios after it ended up closing when they tried to make Fable a 4v1 multiplayer game. We're not gonna talk about that. It was a disaster. But this just it looks like a Fable game, and I think that was the biggest thing for me is like the look and feel of this. It needed to have those core elements of Fable, which I think it does. The biggest one for me obviously is the character creator. I know a lot of people had a lot to say about who they assumed to be just like the main character, but you can create your own character in the game, which is awesome. I'm curious how deep how deep you can customize the character that you create. Um, but yeah, man, I'm super excited for this. I mean, down to like the biggest thing I think number one thing for me was combat. We finally got to see combat, and it looks absolutely incredible. It looks just like I said, it looks just like a Fable game. You have magic. You have different weapons that you. I'm assuming just like in the original games, you can up your proficiency in swords, maces. They're probably going to be a variety of weapons to use, bow and arrow. I'm assuming as well, just like the originals. And it just looks really good, man. I'm curious about what you think about it before we kind of dig into like some of the other like
We
elements of it.
are we are on totally different sides of the track, and I love when it happens like this
Yeah,
because I am not familiar with the Fable games.
yeah,
I mean I know of them obviously, but
yeah.
I
Just never played them.
never. And it's crazy because they're in my library too. Because I did buy them at one time. It's just another game in the backlog that I never got to.
Yeah.
And I always love the concept of the game, the morality, so to speak. Like
Hmm.
you make these decisions and then people, react to you off the decisions that you make throughout the game. I'm always a big component of that. and I've heard nothing but good things from this game in the past. I do want to put it on my list to play. I can't lie to y'all and say it's going to be like a day one, even though I think this is going to be on Game Pass too, right?
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to get into it because I'm just hoping that my entry point to the game is good, just like it was for you guys who played it in the past.
Yeah.
Because it kind of sucks, like when you play a game that everybody been talking about, and then the entry don't be that good, and you like,
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
is what y'all was hyping up. It's like, no, it used to be good. It used to be good, but I will take a dabble into this game because I am a very big fan of that system of creating your person. Like, oh, I'm gonna have, and you know what? I usually take the shitty route, but I might be the hero this time, just to change it up a little bit and see where that takes me in this game. What I've seen here looks absolutely amazing. I love this kind of mystic, medieval, kind of Harry Potterish landscape. I love the way it like looks. It gives me that Lord of the Rings type feel, you know what I'm
Yeah, for
saying?
sure. Yeah, yeah.
So I love that aesthetic. As a whole, I just kind of always love that kind of aesthetic, you know what I'm saying? So, and it looked like they did it right, man. It looks good. Everything graphic wise looks great about this game. And then when it came down to the combat, that's what I really wanted to see, like how they was going to pull that off. And don't get me wrong, the combat looks good, but when you've seen so many like hacker slasher type games, which this is not, but when you have that kind of view and you're swinging and fighting the enemies, I just want to see a little bit more, something a little bit different in the combat, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
over the shoulder arrow shooting, we've seen this time and time again. Um, but just something a little bit different on how that's executed would be fine with me. If they don't, that's not a knock to what they have going on. The combat still looks fluent enough. It looks great. It looked like I said, I'm not familiar with the older games, so I don't know what the older games look like as far as their combat. But all in all, the game looks great. I'm here for it. I'm glad that they, weathered the storm of the bullshit that everybody was talking about. Oh, we need a fine girl because I'm a gooner, blah blah blah. Fuck off. I'm glad that they got over that. Well, it's nothing really to get over. The internet's not real, y'all. It's a bullshit. But I'm glad to see this game look the way it looks at the time it looks, and when it releases, is definitely we're going to come back here and talk about it because I know you're going to probably play it.
Yeah, this is a
And
day one buy for me, 100%. Like
yeah, we're definitely going to this and Horizon. I think we're going to just end up talking about it again. Like the smithing looks good. Like I'm looking at like the smithing, and I guess this is how you'll be upgrading your weapons and stuff. Was it like that in the past?
Yeah, so for if I remember right, Fable 3 was the one that focused a lot on weaponsmithing, and you could essentially like create weapons and they had different effects on them. Just like you mentioned, because this is like a fantasy game first and foremost, so you have the ability to use magic, and you can essentially hold jobs, and this is something that I really love about Fable. So that's one thing that they talked about is how reactive the world is. The game has, according to the developers, over 1,000, either 1,000 or over 1,000 unique NPCs that all have their own lives, routines. Different how they perceive you in the world is really huge too. So you can be really nice in one village and then go to another village and just be a terrible person. And I love that.
Or steal some fruit?
Yeah, like I love how the game reacts to the player and how that presents itself to you in the world. Like that's one of my favorite things about Fable, because you can choose to be the type of hero you want to be. So if you wanted to be somebody who's a little bit more, edgy or just kind of chaos in the world, you can. And one of the things, like I mentioned, one of the things in Fable 3, you could be a blacksmith and you could make weapons and sell them for gold, and then you can use that gold to buy property. So you can own houses, you can own businesses in the game. You can get married and have kids in the game, which is, that's something that's previous to the previous trilogy. And like it's just I love the fact that you have so much player, I call it like player agency or player choice, to where you can really choose how you want to play this game. And I think that's something that you'll enjoy about Fable.
Oh yeah, good
Um,
old chaos.
yeah, and I mean, like even like the older games, I would say the combat's a little bit slower, just because the time that these games were developed in. But the combat looks a little bit smoother. Like you can switch between magic, the drop of a hat. Combine magic together to have different effects. I mean, they even have abilities to where you can turn people into chickens, which I think is hilarious. um, but I just love the fact that this game is going to be the game where you can really choose how you want to play, and that's, in my opinion, that's what Fable's always been about. Is
Mm-hmm.
you create your character and you're given this tool chest or toolbox to kind of play around with in the world itself. And I actually love the fact that we got very little information about the story itself. Like all we know that is your character's family gets turned to stone, and that kind of is what propels you to seek out the heroes. Because there's a hero guild, which is like you know the legendary. It's like a legendary thing in Fable. It always has been. And not everyone can
Mm-hmm.
become a hero. It's like usually only people who are destined to be. So I'm curious how they're gonna kind of weave that in. I actually went back and watched the trailer from last year, which kind of hinted. It seemed like it hinted at some of the stories, and because you're gonna meet the current hero guild master, and he seems like he's somebody who is past his prime. He doesn't seem like a traditional, like he seems like he has some sort of a past. Like he's the hero guild seems empty, which is very telling. In the trailer.
We need heroes.
Yeah, I mean, it's just going to be really interesting to see how this all kind of plays out. Like, I'm super interested about the story. I'm sure when we get to the summertime, when Xbox has a summer showcase, we'll probably get some more information about the story itself. But I'm okay not knowing a whole lot, and I actually kind of
Mm-hmm.
prefer it that way. I mean, because Fable,
I was gonna say me too.
in my opinion, I think Fable 2 is, well, not in my, a lot of people look at Fable 2 as the best game in the series. There are some things of Fable 3 that I did enjoy. Namely, your decisions really determine whether the nation or the kingdom that you're in, if it survives or not. Because in Fable 3, you essentially you will become either king or queen in that game. But that's not the end of the game. Like that's just kind of like the midway point, which I think is cool. But there's some decisions and stuff in that game that I don't really agree with, but I think it's worth playing them. They're not super long games, once again, product of the time they're from. But
Mm-hmm.
I think just like from a story standpoint, they're really cool. I did read a interesting article on Xbox Wire where they talked about the interviewer asked if this game is like lore wise, if it's going to be related to the previous trilogies, and he was kind of non-committal about it, because if I remember right, from the first to the second game, no, it's from the second to the third game, I think there's a 500-year time gap between like, and your heroes from those games are all kind of related to each other one way or another, which is pretty cool. But so I'm curious if this is just gonna kind of be its own thing, if it's not related to those games, or if this is just another point in time in Albion's history. Like I wouldn't mind if this is like story wise a prequel to the first game or something, like because in those games the hero guild is a shadow of its former self. Most of the heroes are either dead or missing. And you kind of go through the game finding out what happened or why they are, or why the world is the way it is, essentially. So kind of disappointed with no release date on this, no hard release date. We got autumn of 2026. I'm gonna assume this is gonna come out. My prediction for this is September. I know that's kind of still summer or whatever in some parts of the world, but I think
September this year.
yeah. So it's gonna be autumn of 2026, and the reason why I say that is because they've promised or not promised. Xbox has said that Gears E-Day is still coming out this year. I think that game would be a perfect October game. Gears is looking like it's trying to get back to its horror roots and, making the Locust very scary. That just kind of makes sense.
Please do.
Yeah. They've talked about it in a few recent interviews. And if I'm Xbox, I want to get this game as far away from GTA 6 as possible. Because until we hear otherwise, the game is still coming out in November. I know they did have that issue at their office. Thank God nobody was hurt. I think it was some sort of explosion, sort of water tank or something exploded. I can't remember. But as of now, GTA 6 is still coming out in November, and obviously the rest of the industry is very wary of that game for good reason. But I hope this does come out in September. I think that'll be a perfect time for it, and then you have enough time, until Gears E-Day, which hopefully hits in October, which I think would be great. But that's just my theory. I don't know about you, like when you think this may or may not come out.
It's like, you know what? I'm gonna say it for all the people in the gaming community, all the devs and all the higher up in the top brass who can't say it. I'm gonna say it for you. I'm so tired of GTA 6. Like the fact that everyone is kind of like, we don't, because a lot of games are doing this because I mean it only makes sense because you want to maximize your profits and stuff, and you don't want to drop around the time where your game might be overshadowed by GTA 6. But at the same time, I'm just like, I think when your game stands out in a different kind of a genre, that I think you shouldn't really worry about releasing it because GTA 6 is kind of what it is. And if your game is something different, which I think this game is, I think this game, if it hits all the marks and come out and it's a success to the people who've been playing it and it brings in new people and everybody loves it, hey man, just drop it. I think this would definitely hit hard toward the end of the year. I think this would me I would do something crazy. I would probably do a holiday drop.
You're insane.
I would probably
You're insane.
I would probably do a December 1st. I would do something crazy like
You're absolutely insane.
I was hoping to catch that hoping to catch that holiday crowd because when is GTA scheduled to release? I don't even care.
Late November or like November 19th or something. It's either 19th or 20th.
November 19th.
Let me see. Hold that thought. GTA 6.
I mean, you could play it safe and drop it before then.
November 19th.
But like I said, if you got a good product, fuck GTA. Like if you got a good product,
I admire that line of thinking,
but you're gonna be more thinking like me.
Yeah, well, it's that, and I think GTA. I don't think it matters what type of game that could potentially release near it. I mean, I think GTA is just going like everyone plays it, right? Like let's just call a spade a spade. 90% of the world knows what GTA is. 90% of the gaming world knows what GTA is. I think it would be a mistake for them to release a game that they've spent 7 to 8 years, probably hundreds of millions of dollars at this point, to release it close to a game like that. Especially because I'm going to assume that.
Well, why not just release it next year then? Top of next year.
I mean, sure, they could do that, but it was already delayed once, and then you kind of get into the whole earnings and, all the business stuff, the boring business shit. Guys. You know what I mean? Like, I think that
because if they were honest, I would appreciate that. If they'd be like, hey, man, we're going to release this at the top of the year because we don't feel like fucking with GTA. I would respect that. Yeah, if they just came out and said it. I know a lot of people. I know I'm the small, very tiny minority in this.
But yeah, I mean, Weenie said the same thing. He said he would rather play this than GTA. I mean, I don't disagree with you guys, but history is not on our side in this case, right? Like, I would rather this be successful because I want this series revived. I don't imagine this is going to be a one-off for Xbox, especially with, like I said, the amount of investment that they've put into it. The expansion, as much expansion that Playground Games has done as a studio, like hiring all the talent that they have. I want this game to
shine.
Yeah, I do. I want this game to be as successful as possible, man. Like, I think that this could potentially turn into one of their tentpole franchises, like it was in the past.
But
so that's just me.
This is my rationale behind it. And I could be totally off basis because I'm not a gaming analysis, blah, 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 whoop-de-boop, whatever. People, when it comes to GTA 6, right? people are gonna rush to play it because the online part ain't coming out till a month or two after the game actually drops. So people are gonna burn through this game within a couple of weeks. People are gonna play this shit, burn through it, and complain why the online part isn't out yet, right? So that was kind of my rationale to thinking like, you know, if you put it at the end of the year, I just think people who are into these type of games are going to support it. Now, new people and what you said about earnings calls and all that stuff, it makes sense.
Yeah.
So that's why I was saying maybe the top of the first quarter, because usually when it comes to those type of people, that first quarter is pretty well. The last and the first quarter is just devious times, right?
Yeah.
Because the last bit of that quarter, people that's when people get laid off, all types of shit like that, because they like, look, we didn't make enough money for the end of the year. But it's tricky. It's tricky, man. It's tricky. I agree with your take on it. Possibly like a good September, August. But
I think
I
that'll
just
be
feel
good.
like this game, and then I mean, I dig what you're saying because you do want it to be a success. I dig that. But I just feel like people who play these types of games will show out for it. I feel like they will buy it, and I
I
think
hope
it.
so. I really do, man. I want this to be successful. I'm a huge fan of Fable, man. Like it's been years since I've played them. Watching this actually kind of made me want to go back and play
I
Fable
just
2 or
downloaded
3.
them. I just downloaded them right
Honestly, I
now.
think I still have them on my Xbox One. I gotta check. I don't remember, but
Yeah, I
so
just downloaded them off Game Pass as we talk. I downloaded 1, 2, and 3.
they're incredible, man. So if you guys have never played Fable, you're into RPGs like fantasy RPGs, the very British humor that these games have. Like I would highly recommend you check them out. So,
Ooh, and Weenie loves his British humor. Our mod over here, he's a big fan of the Brit humor.
yeah. We can spin through the other two games
Wait, hold
quick.
on.
What?
You mean to tell me I can kick chickens and be evil?
Yeah. In the old
Oh,
games,
I'm in there.
funny enough,
I'm in.
in the older games, when you were when you were consistently bad or good, in the older games, like when you were really bad, horns would grow out of your head, and if you were really good, like you would have a halo over your head. They're not doing it in this game. I understand why they're not. Just from the idea that you want each NPC to be a unique interaction. Because in those games, like I said, if you had horns in your head, you walked into a town you've never been in, people would be afraid of you. They would treat you already as if you've been evil to them. So I'm cool with that. But yeah, so you can kick chickens in this game 100%, and you can probably do a bunch more than that. So yeah,
Mm.
that's Fable, guys. Once again, highly recommend you guys go check out the HD footage, the 4K footage of that, and I'm pretty excited for it. Hopefully, we get a release date sometime in the summer. So
Church
yeah, we can spin through these other two games. I'm not as interested in these. Probably be
at all.
a polite skip for me. I did just want to give a shout out to
Pottery Barn.
Kiln is what it's called. It's not called Pottery Barn. Wow, you made me forget the name of the studio who's making this game, jerk. Oh my goodness. This is the studio. One second, I have it in my notes. Double Fine. Jesus. Yeah, Double Fine Studios. I just wanted to give them a shout out, man, because in this day and age of gaming, where studios, especially that when they're owned by publishers, have a certain expectation of success. Double Fine has
Mm-hmm.
always been a studio that's just kind of let their creativity speak for themselves, and I like that this game was the product of an internal game jam that they had, and they all thought that this game was fun enough to where they like imagine you work at a studio, you make a game, and it gets picked up by the studio. Like you make a test demo for a game. I think that's cool. Like I did want to just give this a shout out. Seems like a pottery beat 'em up, if you will. Like I said, I don't think it's gonna be for me. But this looks like it could be fun with with your kids, with your
You never
significant
know,
other.
right?
Yeah, like it. And Double Fine, like I said, man, I always appreciate the games that they make. They just released one, the Lighthouse game that came out last year sometime. And I'm
And that was very interesting.
it
They have
got
some.
pretty decent reviews. But I think
I
it's
like their
cool that
approach.
Yeah, I like their approach, man. Like, it's cool that you can kind of craft your own pot, and it has different abilities and stuff. Uh,
Pottery Barn.
so I'm curious how this is going to work out. But I like that in this day and age. Once again, we hear Microsoft talk about profit a lot. They've shut down studios, fired tens of thousands of employees, but Double Fine seems like they found like a little niche for themselves. And I hope they continue to
Hmm.
do this, man, because we need games like this. Even though they
So
may not be
we
for
have
us,
to
but
support them.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I
Either
guess,
if you like talking about it or just showing them off, like we got to show some kind of support, or we're going to keep getting the same ball and gun games, and we don't
yeah,
want that.
yeah, exactly. So I believe this is coming out on Game Pass. Yeah, it is. Let me clarify that too. All these games are Game Pass day one for Game Pass Ultimate only. So if you don't have Game Pass Ultimate, you don't get the day one. Go yell at Microsoft about it. Wasn't my fault. But this is what this is coming out, I think, on pretty much every platform, current gen platform.
I'm
So,
here for it.
but yeah, just once again, quick little shout out for them. Didn't want to,
Yeah, same here, man. Like I love their animation, the aesthetics. Like I love just the wackiness of it,
yeah, yeah,
and the concept is pretty funny. Like it seems like a very lighthearted game. And I definitely it's going to be on Game Pass. I still have mine, so I'm definitely going to check it out. It just seems like one of our mods said in chat, like
yeah.
it seems like a game you'll play for a while, and then it's kind of like
Streamer game
okay.
for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to avoid saying it, but it definitely seems like one of those games that you're gonna see all the streamers playing with their buddies, group streams and stuff like that.
Honestly,
And
you know what it reminds me of? This giving me like Fusion Frenzy vibes. Honestly, like if you got
could it be the return of the Great Fusion?
some of our OG Xbox listeners will appreciate the Fusion Frenzy nod. I'm sure.
And Fusion Frenzy 2 never happened. Okay. That never happened. That shit was awful.
That's why I didn't mention it.
Yeah. Fusion Frenzy 1, classic.
Yeah.
And you can get it on Game Pass. It's still there. But yeah, I'm going to check it out. If it's on Game Pass, I'll check it out for sure.
Yeah. So maybe we'll talk about it. This could be like a little indie, even though they're not
Whoever
indie,
knows.
but double A.
You never know,
game.
man. Sometimes games like this like come out and they be like mega hits. Like so
True. So
we'll see.
Shout out to Double Fine, man.
Word.
Next and last game that we got. This comes out in spring of this year, by the way. No hard release date on this yet, so not sure when. Last game, wanted to just talk about this briefly. This is the Game Freak game. If you guys don't know who Game Freak is, they make Pokemon. Which is a shock to me that they get to step outside of their cages to make anything else. That's a joke, guys.
Well,
That's a joke. That's a joke. I love Game Freak. It's a joke. Beast of Reincarnation. This is a single player RPG game where it's set in the far future of Japan, that the world has been taken over by something called a blight, which just looks like this overgrown plant monsters that are essentially destroying the world and humanity. And you play as a character who has the ability to clear these blights, and you have a dog companion, which is cool. I think the combat looks pretty interesting. I like the fact that you can slow down time and do like combo attacks with the dog. Kind of adds like a tactical RPG element to the game itself. I will say I don't think I'm gonna pick this up. I'll probably catch it on sale or something if I'm really interested, or maybe I'll just watch a streamer play it. But I'm glad that Game Freak is able to make something else besides Pokemon. And I hope it.
I know they're happy to flex their muscle too.
Yeah,
probably.
exactly.
Like we can do other things, guys.
Yeah, which is interesting because allegedly, Generation 10 for Pokemon is going to hit this year. It's the 30th anniversary for Pokemon this year, so I'm curious how that's going to kind of work out for them. I hope this game is optimized far better than Scarlet and Violet. I had to say it, just being honest.
Game of the year, Scarlet.
That was a that's a honest to God worry of mine. Like I hope that this game is much better optimized and play. I mean, like I said, the action parts of the game look interesting. Story, I'm not really sure if I'm super interested in it. It just looks like a traditional JRPG, like action RPG. Kind of similar in the vein of Devil May Cry or something along those lines. I know we were talking to Winnie about this the other day. He's not entirely sold on it either, which tells me a lot because he plays a lot of these types of games more so than anybody in our community. So I'm gonna trust his word on it. I don't know if this will be for me. It's gonna be on Game Pass when it does release, which is
Game Pass be making me play some shit, boy.
yeah. Gosh, I just had it in front of me. Comes out summer of this year. So maybe this is like maybe a July, August game, maybe. But it just seems like a typical RPG. Nothing super groundbreaking for me. I don't know if you were interested in this or not, or what your thoughts were.
Man, these type of games, if y'all haven't noticed my tone lately when it comes to these type of games, like the action RPGs, and it's not really, I don't want to harp on it like it's a shit game or anything like that.
Yeah,
It's just, I need to see like something that stands out. I don't know what's missing in this genre, but to me, I'm kind of getting the fatigue of it. Like,
yeah,
it's like, oh, look, oh, the monster flash. He's about to do a move. Let me roll. Let me tuck and roll. Let me dodge. Let me slash and blah, blah, blah. Like, these games are really starting to become kind of boring to me.
yeah, yeah. That's fair.
And that's kind of like why when I was looking at this, like I literally had no interest outside of the fact that these are the guys who made Pokemon.
Yeah,
That's the only thing that's holding my interest because I do want to see what they can commit to and what they can give us outside of that world of Pokemon. It does look good. It's a beautiful looking game. From what I've seen so far, the combat to me is leaving a little bit to the imagination. Like I said, I need to see more. I want to see something different than a samurai. Like we got so many freaking sword games. Like
yeah.
it's so many of these types of games that are out. So somebody gonna have to step it up with the combat. We're gonna have to. It's something different. It just has to be there for me. And like I said, I don't want to shit on these guys because I do want to see what they're capable of. So
I
it
agree.
definitely
I
is
agree.
going to be something because it's on Game Pass. I still have my Game Pass, so I will peek my head in there, test out a few levels, see what it's about, and see if they can give me that feel of something different. I'll continue to play it. If not, I will gently bounce past to LeBron, who doesn't play defense. But anyway, yeah, that's my
Yeah,
thoughts on that.
I'm that's kind of my reasoning too. It's been so long for them to have the creative freedom to make something unique to
You get out that
themselves.
Pokemon basement.
Yeah, so maybe this will be the thing that platforms them to go on to make other games. I don't know. They seem
Hmm.
really excited about it. I hope it does well. It's on Game Pass, like DC said. Game Pass Day One Ultimate only. By the way, got to put that little asterisk in there for you guys.
Hmm. So
Um,
y'all won't come back yelling at us.
yeah, you
I'll
said
be
it was
getting
on
that
Game
basic Xbox. You said
Pass.
Game Pass. Which one did you get? You didn't say
Yeah,
that.
so if you want Day One games, now you have to purchase Game Pass Ultimate, which is $30 a month. It's $29.99 USD. I don't know about other countries, convert that currency to your home country. But yeah, so if you want these games, if you're interested in any of these four games, they'll be on Game Pass Ultimate. So yeah, but this was, I think, a pretty strong showing for Xbox start of the year. You got Forza, we got Fable, finally got to see Fable and two other games. I'll always say it, man. I think we need games like this in the industry. Because otherwise we'll just continue to get gun and ball games, as DC said. That's never gonna not be funny, but
Man, I don't know who coined that term, but that shit. I want to say Black Hokage, but I think somebody said it before
nah, it's
him.
been around.
So
Yeah, yeah. It's been on the internet for a little
I've
while.
never heard it before.
Yeah,
Like he was the first person I heard say it, and I died
yeah,
laughing. I was like, "That's so accurate."
yeah,
But
yeah. Winnie, I
yeah,
agree with you, man. It has to. I think what'll make this game, what'll make or break this game is how well the combat's put together and how the systems, like the RPG elements, are integrated into it. But that remains to be seen. So we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yes, sir.
I know we had one other thing to do, but we're running out of time, and I figured if you're at home tomorrow, we could record a separate video for that.
Hey, man, I'm with it because I was gonna say the same thing because
I
we
don't,
both got something to do today.
yeah, and I
So,
don't want to
and
rush through that. I actually really want to do it. I figured we could just do like a separate video
ooh,
for that.
Patreon.
Yeah.
Oh, Patreon
Um,
material. No.
So I think unfortunately, guys, like I said, I did have a hard stop today of 1 p.m. But I do want to once again thank you guys for hanging out. If you guys are interested in the Xbox Direct, it is up on YouTube. There's plenty of videos about this stuff, man. So please go check it out and let us know your thoughts if you're interested in any of the 4 games. If you're excited for any of these, we're starting to kind of fill out the year a little bit, with some games. We don't have a lot of hard release dates, but I'm thinking this year's shaping up to be another banger for video games, man. So I just want to tell you guys, I appreciate you guys for hanging out today. For our viewers in stream, I should be back later this afternoon/evening. I just
Keep
have
them noties on.
Yeah, so I have some stuff to take care of. I'll be back to play some video games. But for our audio listeners, it's going to be the end of the podcast. I appreciate you guys for hanging out. You guys can find me everywhere. Twitter, YouTube. Make sure you guys follow the Super Weapon YouTube as well. DC, take us home, baby.
All right, I'm gonna make this quick so we can get up out of here. We was gonna do it today, but we will be doing our comic versus. All right. We're gonna put Darius in the hot seat. We're gonna match up some characters. And we're going to see what he thinks. And we're going to see who he thinks comes out on top. Yeah, I'm very excited about this. And because I want to do it because I respect and love my brother's knowledge for comics. We really want to put a spotlight on that because
I'm a casual fan.
Yeah, he's a casual guy. I'll play modest with him. He's a casual guy. But yeah, we do love things outside of games, and we're slowly just incorporating it into the show. And we're going to do that. We're going to set that up, and we're going to have that for you guys later. And that's all I have, man. We're going to get out of here real quick. Love, peace, and God bless. You guys stay warm. Stay safe out there. We appreciate you guys always, even if you tap in for 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes. We appreciate you giving us your time, baby. And we are out.
Thank you, guys. We will see you next week for another episode. Peace.